I got way too many thoughts about this teaser trailer, and I am making time to make this video because I just need to share them. Because I wrote a Tumblr post, 2 actually, yesterday, right after the trailer dropped. But now we're like almost a day later. So many thoughts. Have you guys seen the fact that Jax is simply dissociating in this thumbnail? And he seems to be at about the same place as you would be standing to take the picture of the teaser of the exit door? Yep. That's gonna haunt me. How about we get uncomfortable first and just rewatch the trailer?
On the next episode of the Amazing Digital Circus, it's time to soak in the sun.
Totally fun, totally normal.
Day at the beach.
Nope. Look who's there.
On
You've
the
seen him
next
before.
episode of the Amazing Digital Circus, it's time to soak in the sun as
I'm so uncomfortable. Look at the picture behind him.
On the next episode of the Amazing Digital Circus, it's time to
Yep.
On the next episode of the Amazing Digital Circus,
Sorry, I got spooked by my dog just jumping up the chair.
it's time to
There's so much happening. I don't like Caine glitching this badly.
I think I found the way to leave.
Yep. Uh-huh. And then a black screen to pad for time to make it 57 seconds. And because she announced herself very rudely so mid-recording, here's my dog. Look at her. She's adorable. I love you. I love you. No. A dog is certainly a way to get rid of your discomfort, but we're gonna dive right back in anyway, so I'm sorry. So let's start with this title screen. Aside from the fact that it repeats a bunch of times, but eventually changes to a blurred exit door, this is the same background as the exit door that Glitch put on their socials like 2 days ago. This background is also on the other side of the beach, across the water from this promo picture. So like, if the door was over here, and in the thumbnail, Jax was like over here, you could have easily seen that door from where he was standing, albeit across the water. And right here's where the first glitches start happening. I have analyzed these glitches way too much, only for it to be revealed to be stock footage. But like, there's a face on the left side that returns in more glitches, probably because it's the same footage. But also, this weird blob here kind of looks like Jax. Like, these are his ears, and this is like his gym suit. And also, I made a video about bee theory, so I was like, oh my god, this is like honeycomb. This is stock footage. This doesn't mean anything. But this part does mean something. Like, notice the camera shaking as if someone is holding the camera. Maybe bubble, like floating around. And then we have the mannequin that we have seen pop up in multiple episodes after episode 2. But what I did notice is that almost all the doors in this hallway are blank. And if you compare it to the current timeline, most of these doors are occupied. There's no stretch of the hallway that has this many blank doors. And also, I think around here or here would be Kaufmo's door. Like, look at this screenshot here from an earlier teaser. They changed up the flower pots and the artwork. But this is a flashback. This is from the past. It can be anything else, unless it's a different stretch of the hallway that we've never seen. And again, there's nothing in these glitches. There's probably stock footage again.
On the next episode of the Amazing Digital Circus, it's time to soak in the sun as
I screenshot this part because I thought that there was something written there, but then my friend Danny pointed out these might be bees. And I want to point it out because I recently made a video about the bee theory, where there is like a whole bunch of bees just popping up throughout the entire show. And I think that's relevant because of like a quote from I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream, which is a book/game that TADC is based on, that is specifically pointing out the bumblebees, like, oh, technically bumblebees shouldn't be able to fly, but there they are collecting pollen. It's part of a speech from the AI of that book/game, expressing how much he hates humanity. Mostly because being sentient without being able to do simple things like feeling the sun, smelling flowers, etc. is absolute torture, and just hating humanity for inflicting that fate upon him, but also being able to experience those things. So, like, it's a short. You can watch it. And if these are bees, I'm gonna lose my mind. And then cuts to Jax laying in the dark, which some have pointed out, it looks like exactly the same shot as this teaser that Gooseworx have put out, just angled the other way. And look at the difference in the expression on Jax's face. And aside from the elephant in the room being the picture in the background of Jax, Kaufmo, and Ribbit, like we didn't really know that Kaufmo and Jax were friends until just now. What is Jax looking at? He looks absolutely terrified, and it almost looks like he is staring directly into the camera, which he has done fourth wall breaks a lot in the show. But it could also be that he is staring at something just behind the camera. Like he's not aware of the camera, he's just staring behind it. What even could be there that scares Jax of all people this much, right?
On the
Nothing
next
in these
episode of
glitches,
the
but we go
Amazing
back to the
Digital
beginning
Circus,
again.
it's time to...
So after looping back to the starting screen again and 2 glitch screens that probably don't mean anything, we have Caine's office door that is very blatantly blue and red. And with so many theories going around about the meaning of blue and red and what it means for the character's state of mind, and also like Caine's eyes glitching blue and red at the end in the post-credit scene after the character awards. I don't think it's a coincidence, but I'm not sure what the sun and moon motifs are just yet. And also someone pointed out, every single person in the circus has a room, like a room for themselves to sleep, decompress, just have a space to themselves. Caine doesn't. He has an office, meaning he has no place to decompress, even if he's an AI, right? But it also ties together with the fact that he said that all of these intelligent AI, that they shouldn't be running for prolonged amounts of time, and he literally can only work. Also, what is this chiming sound?
On the next episode of the Amazing
back
Digital
here?
Circus,
I don't like the fact that that title screen had distorted sound. Followed by a glitch sequence that's mostly just nothing until it comes here. This vaguely looks like Pomni. I have no idea what's going on otherwise, by the way. And then it goes to another shot of this wooden doll. And funnily enough, the previous time we saw him, it was clearly that someone was holding the camera. Like that was footage that someone was recording. That was not like a point of view for us as the audience. And this again feels like that, as if it's like a static camera and this is happening in the background and someone is reviewing the footage and like zoomed in on this guy, like standing in the background. And I think this is around the beach, so this might be in the background of the beach episode. And then in the middle of these glitches, we see Caine doing, I don't know, Caine things, I guess. And the next part is quite fast, so I can't even play it, otherwise you won't even see anything. We have this glitch, which is the only type of glitch that's actually repeating, like this rough purpley shape. And some people are seeing Jax in it. I kind of see Kinger in it. I think it's related to someone abstracting. Like, this is not a coincidence that this is the only one that's, like, actively repeating and really obviously so. Then we have Zooble lying on the floor. Something or someone is casting a shadow on top of them, and their eyes are closed. And I think that Zooble's eyes are closed on purpose because whatever is standing over them would have reflected in their eyes. And then we have the first repeat of this this glitch. Then we have Pomni and Ragatha in some sort of weird space, and they just look blankly at each other. And then something happens and they look towards that. Again, this glitch. And then it loops back to the title screen, but it just says it's time. And the exit door blurred in the background. Then we have a bucket of keys that are very likely linked to Jax because he has a multiplication set that he has keys to everywhere. He always magically has keys. He even managed to like sneak off the key of the Candy Kingdom off of Ragatha in episode 2. And for some odd reason, I think it's related to his ability or like the quirk he has when he holds his breath. But I also have been believing that Jax knows more about the circus than anyone else. And that's why he has the keys, the same way that Kinger was able to summon that butterfly to heal Ragatha. Now the words "it's time" are bigger, which is totally not ominous at all. And then we see whatever this is. What in the MC Escher Eldritch horror is this? Like, like if I move my camera out of the way, this looks like Caine, doesn't it? Like with the 2 floating eyeballs and the mouth and everything. But I also think this might be the area where Pomni and Ragatha are at while they were looking at each other, all shocked and blank. And then we have what I think is Jax holding this tiny hand. Is it like a charm or something? I don't like it. It gives me the heebie-jeebies. Or is its time or even bigger now? And then we have a really interesting screen grab of Kinger pointing at Pomni and Pomni looking scared. But like scared in a way as if he is accusing her of something, or he just revealed something to her that scares her. And notably, there are also 2 buttons in the background. A blue one and a red one. I think Pomni will have to make some sort of choice. Or like they all have to, and like the buttons are relevant to that. And I think it's gonna be Matrixy with like blue pill, red pill, and everything. Or possibly Kinger knows which button to press and is telling her which one. But she looks so scared. And then we have a snow orb or snow globe kind of thing. And either it's like a snow globe where there's like a world trapped inside of it, or this is a way to like use scrying as a way to keep an eye on people in this world, or as a way to like spy on people, right? This is a common trope, like using a scrying orb to keep track of people. But also there's this tweet from Gooseworx that says, "Help, I'm stuck in an orb," or something of the sorts. Very recent tweet as well, so I don't know. And this glitched frame looks very similar to the one where Kinger is pointing at Pomni, but it's slightly different. You can see the buttons here. It's a slightly different angle. Pomni is standing slightly different. I even think she might be like angry or walking towards him. Like something is happening here that they're teasing, but they're not really willing to show just yet. The words are even bigger. And then we have Caine experiencing another blue screen of death. Just like in episode 1 where he was giving Pomni the tour of the grounds and he was talking about all of the things that she could do, including like, hey, this is a digital lake. You should go drown yourself in there, Pomni. You know, the same lake where the beach episode is taking place at. And he kind of like blue screen of death in the middle of trying to explain all the activities that is possible in the circus before they went back to the main circus tent, right? And something I find really interesting that this is not the most recent blue screen of death. This is the one that was used in Windows XP, Vista, and 7. So this is an older version of Windows. And then we see a mannequin with a really creepy face that looks like someone that's not gonna be named in this video. Like everything is like really swirly around it. It's really creepy. I think this might be the same mannequin that we see peeking around corners all the time. And this is its way of really establishing like, hey, I'm a unique character. You need to be able to recognize me. Similar to how Disappearing Guy is red with a cowboy hat and how Ming is like a bluish gray with like googly eyes and a baseball cap. Hi, Editor Ezzy here. I've been talking about blue and red theory throughout this entire video, but I did not notice the fact that Disappearing Guy and Ming are blue and red as well. That's something to ponder on for later. This one just has a really creepy face drawn. Weirdly symmetrical too. And in this glitch we see Caine with the blue screen of death again. And then again, this specific glitch. Like I think it's like the 4th time or something it came back. And people really see like Jax just hugging his knees and like being sad and like trying to keep reality together kind of thing in this, which honestly they might be onto something. Now we got a close-up of Jax's door opening, again this glitch, and then I thought at some point this was bubble, but then I noticed earlier, oh, this is just the glitch of the bucket with keys. But it's interesting that they bring it back now, because usually when the frames are in the glitchy scenes, it's really close to when they actually showed the frame itself. But this happened earlier, like much earlier in this teaser. But now they're showing it again in relation to Jax specifically. And it's tied to Jax, obviously. And then we see Ragatha looking really scared at something. And this looks to be a different area than like that bluish MCS or horror kind of thing. The type of scared she looks is like her perception of reality is being shattered, or someone just abstracted, something like that. This is like a type of scared that you're like, I have no power to do anything against this. And then we see a door open, and it's opening outwards, which I found really fascinating. So it could be Jax's door, because this feels similar to when we saw Kaufmo's door open from the inside, back in episode 1 when he abstracted. But then it pans to an empty room that looks oddly blue, but it looks very same blue as when we had that close-up of Jax's face, what I think was in bed. So it could be the same room. But then I don't understand why this part is so red and this one is so blue. Probably related to the blue-red theory kind of thing. Like they really make a point of this door opening, right? But then they immediately cut to this door. And it's not the same door. It can't be. First of all, the room behind it, like the room it's opening into, is lit. So it wouldn't be causing that same effect. Also, this door is opening inwards. While the door we've been looking at, this one is opening outwards, just like Jax's door. But the glitching between makes me think that it is related, albeit not the same door.
I think I found the way to leave.
And then we have that, and I originally thought that might be Ribbit, because I was so deep in the theory that Zach Hadel was gonna voice Ribbit and that Ribbit was gonna have a male voice actor. But people pointed out this is probably Kaufmo. And I've had a strong feeling that we're gonna have like a flashback part of the episode, which that one frame of that mannequin guy in the hallway that looks like it was happening in the past could signify as well. Maybe we will see what happened leading up to Ribbit and Kaufmo both abstracting, because that seems to be heavily tied to Jax's story. And then it just ends on when the episode is releasing, right? We already knew this, they announced it, but the fact that they are specifically saying that it's coming to YouTube and Netflix as like a similar release makes me think that there's going to be a really big and major reveal, because previously it took some time for some episodes to come on Netflix. There was some delay, but for it to release at the same time means that they probably don't want people to get spoiled, regardless of the platform they're watching on. And then it's just padding time until it's at 57 seconds. A number that keeps popping up and I have absolutely zero explanation for. Like the closest thing I have to it is that 5 is a number that means chaos in the Bible, and 7 means harmony, and it's like a direct dichotomy and maybe related to like the red and blue kind of thing. And why do I think Bible? There's so many Bible references, like the whole Cain and Abel thing, like that's so blatant. Cain being called God in episode 2. Hi, Editor Izzy here. Literally as I was finishing up the edit for this video, Glitch dropped this additional teaser. And aside from the fact that I have never seen this hallway before, and those things look like degloinkified gloinks, and that door further back looks like the door of Kane's office, but like slightly different. The only real thing I can think of is that this is Abel's office, and it has to do with gloinks, but your guess is as good as mine, honestly. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed all of my thoughts. Most of these are in a Tumblr post, so if you just want to see the screenshots with the commentary in a more structured way, I've got them linked in the description as well, and I'm gonna lose my mind for the next week. And if you're watching this after the episode comes out, or after you watch my other theory video about Jack subtracting, or after, which is not out probably when this video comes out, but maybe in a few days, or after you see my reaction to episode 7, I would love to know how much on point I was or how wrong I was. Because honestly, as a theorist, I kind of get a kick out of being wrong, because I learn a lot about that, because that means like, oh, where did I go wrong in my thought process and how can I improve for next time? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next video. I don't even know my outro anymore. Bye!